Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna give you a topic of flexible nanocomposites comprised of polydimethyl and high permittivity titanium dioxide nanoparticle doped with lanthanum and copper for dielectric application. In this study, undoped and lanthanum copper doped titanium nanoparticle was prepared by sol-gel techniques and investigated a dielectric property. The researchers chose two different elements for doping rather than co-dope since they wanted to see effects of two elements of different charge valence electrons on the dielectric property of doped titanium dioxide. The additions of a cationic dopant to the titanium dioxide crystal modify its photocatalytic and dielectric property. The reasons are, first, dopant ion additions can lead to the band gap of titanium dioxide, causing electronic movement. Second, a dopant ion can create an intermediate mid-gap state between the valence band and conduction band, facilitating electron hopping. And the last one is the charge separation can be increased in the system. XRD patterns of lanthanum dope and copper dope titanium dioxide reveal that the patterns are matched well with the standard pattern of titanium dioxide particle. The deflection peak positions of lanthanum and copper doped titanium dioxides are more the same as those of undoped titanium dioxide. There is no evidence for separate test phases for lanthanum oxide or cuprate oxide in XRD, which suggests that lanthanum ion and copper ion diffuse to the titanium dioxide matrix as well as small cluster. The lower screen shows the unit cell of undoped titanium dioxide, lanthanum, and copper doped titanium dioxide. Titanium with oxygen titanium dioxide with oxygen vacancy lattice or lattice defects. Picture E and picture F show the unit cell of titanium dioxide and lanthanum copper doped titanium dioxide crystal. In the presence of lanthanum and copper ion and oxygen vacancy lattice defect in the titanium dioxide matrix, it improves the electrical property which will be talked in detail later. The probable doping scheme of titanium dioxide by copper and lanthanum ion is to um, the substitutions of metal ion in the titanium positions and formation of oxygen vacancy and interstitial titanium ion. There is a movement of electrons and holes in the titanium dioxide crystal after doping. There are three free movement electron and hole in the case of copper doping, but no hole in the case of lanthanum doping. The dielectric property of material is related to different type of polarization being active in the system. Polarization means restricted movement of different type of bond charges present in the system like dipolar electronics, atomics, and interfacial or space charge polarization. So for polarization, the basic requirement is some kind of charge separation, and the mobility of these charges is due to the applied electric field. The contributions of different types of polarization to dielectric property like dielectric constant, dielectric loss, uh, are strong functions of the frequency and temperature. This slide show plots of dielectric constant and dielectric loss against the liquency at room temperature. It was observed that the dielectric constant of undoped and doped titanium dioxide strongly depended on liquency, and found that they increase with a decrease in liquency. The origins of charge carrier in undoped titanium dioxide is due to the presence of oxygen vacancy in the system. In fact, a small concentration of titanium ion exists in titanium dioxide along with titanium 4 plus ion. The T plus oxidation state of titanium occurs for oxygen vacancy. The test of impurity can also give rise to some charge carrier in the system. However, in the doped titanium dioxide sample, the oxygen vacancy or charge carrier are due to doping. Oxygen vacancy were generated by the charge compensation mechanism as a result of the substitution of copper 1 ions at the host to titanium 4 plus site. The charge variation in the crystal site cause modifications of the local field and account for the significant change in the dielectric property of doped titanium dioxide compared to the undoped sample. The magnitude of the dielectric constant depends on the extent of polarizations, which depends on the concentration of charge involved in the process. The increase is higher in the case of the copper compared to lanthanum doped titanium dioxide. This is due to a higher charge density in the case of copper compared to the case of lanthanum. Next, they study an effects of temperature on dielectric property. The permittivity increases with the temperature. Attain some peak value at a particular temperature and then decrease with a fertilized in temperature. The increase in the dielectric constant against temperature is highest for copper doped titanium dioxide case, followed by lanthanum doped and undoped titanium dioxide, showing that the change is in accordance with the charge density of different samples. Previously, the dielectric constant of three kinds of material are a function of temperature and frequency. So, in order to achieve temperature and frequency independent dielectric constant, researchers introduced a polydimethyl siloxanes and a flexible polymer matrix to prepare some ceramic polymer composite material. The reasons of using PDMS as the method for making a composite is that this polymer can be used over a wide range of temperature from -110 to 250 degrees Celsius. Because our PDMS has thermostability more than 250 degrees Celsius and can retain a high degree of flexibility even at a low temperature. Then the researchers study on dielectric property again. The dielectric constant increases with a decrease in the frequency for all three composites. However, the change is much less in the case of composite. This is mainly because the volume fractions of oxide additive is very small compared to the base metric PDMS, and the change in dielectric constant for the base metrics over this frequency is also much less. All of the composites contain the same weight of fluid particles. The dielectric constant of two component composites depend on the relative proportions of the components and their we do a dielectric constant. For the presence, or composite system, the matrix is the same and the relative proportions of additive to the matrix is also the same. So the dielectric constant of the composites solely depends on the dielectric constant of the filler particle. Importantly, the change in the dielectric constant against the frequency is significantly less compared to that of an individual filler. So it may be considered as a quality of these composites for application in valid frequency. And the last one is the effects of temperature on the dielectric constant for composites. They are presented in here. There is only a marginal change in the dielectric constant within the temperature range of 40 to 160 degrees Celsius, whereas there is some increase in the dielectric constant beyond 160 degrees Celsius. The observed temperature-independent dielectric constant over the temperature range has made these composites uh, as a candidates for good capacitor material that can be effectively used over violent temperature and frequency ranges. They can also be used for high voltage outdoor insulator as well. Thank you for your watching.